Michelle, Rennie, we're on 64 westbound, and up until this point, I could have said that the roads look a lot better than what we saw earlier this morning, starting at the 5 a.m. hour. As we were leaving our KSDK studio downtown, up until we got to about Brentwood, there were maybe two paved lanes that you could see the plows came through, but now that we are further out past Brentwood on 64, you can see there's barely one little situation here that the plow came through. So we're going to stay in where we can kind of see the pavement, and it looks like we're coming up on another situation of flashing lights. I can tell you that about 2 exits ago, we're near Spady Road exit, but about 2 exits ago, we saw a spun out car being towed just moments ago. Someone else getting stuck on these on and off ramps. That's really the problem, because take a look there, it's all white as you try to get off these off ramps. And it looks like somebody may have been trying to merge on here. We're going to come up on these red and blue flashing lights as crews seem to be assisting someone here. This is a story we've been seeing all day, guys. The ramps are causing the problems. We see a pickup truck, white pickup, as somebody's trying to get those wheels going. Lots of spinning wheels in the snow is the story of the morning. We see Frontenac police out trying to help push what seems to be a SUV, and there's a Jeep too trying to get off of that on-ramp there. And the main issue is because there's inches of snow piled up on the shoulders of the highways and the interstates, and again on those off-ramps that are unplowed. So everyone wants to know, of course, Rennie and Michelle, how the highways and the interstates are looking, and there's a little bit of an area where you can see pavement, but if you can't get on and off of the interstates and the highways safely, it really doesn't matter. Everyone's getting stuck on those on and off ramps. That's the story of what we're seeing now. Again, 64 westbound up until about Brentwood was pretty good if you're coming and going around the city area, the city of St. Louis, and coming out west, but after Brentwood, it's just like this. This is what we're seeing, and many issues on the ramps, guys. That's the very latest. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you, Sydney. We saw that earlier this morning as well, because once the plows go through, all those inches of snow that are on the roads get pushed to the sides.
Sure.
That's why you have the problems with the on and off ramps as well.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and get to Mercedes McKay in our storm tracker. She is east of O'Fallon, driving along I-64, and Mercedes was talking about, power outages earlier today, and also the wind.
A lot of everything happening out there. Tell us more, Mercedes.
Yeah, Rennie and Michelle, a little mixture of everything this morning for sure. We've been on the Illinois side for about 5 hours this morning, and I will tell you what we saw on I-55, very different than what we're seeing right now on I-64. So I'm going to flip the camera around so you can see our conditions right now. You can barely see the pavement on the interstate. Just to let y'all know the difference of the conditions, when we were coming from downtown, heading over to Illinois, going eastbound on I-64, this is what we've been dealing with. You can barely see the interstate at all. You see, I don't know if y'all can see there far ahead, there's a car in front of us, has its hazard on. But on the left side of us, there's a lot of traffic going through. Someone driving past us. This is something we've been seeing as well. If you are out and about, please lower your speed. Right now, we're going about 35 miles an hour. Very different than on I-55 just about 30 minutes ago when we were on I-55 heading westbound. We could actually see the interstate. Those areas were pretty clear. But similar story in Illinois that Sydney has been seeing all morning in Missouri. Even if the highways are a little okay, the on and off ramps are not. But what we're experiencing right now on I-64, just east of O'Fallon, heading eastbound, is not good at all, you guys. You can barely see the interstate. It's kind of that slushy snow that looks like you'd be okay, but then as soon as you're driving, our photographer's telling me it is very slick on these roads. Now, all morning long, we know IDOT has been working around the clock. Actually, some people working 20+ hour shifts to get these roads cleared. I will also tell you guys the side roads in East St. Louis this morning were really rough. What we're seeing right now on the interstate is better than what we saw on the side roads, but we have that snow piled up on the sides of the interstate, so you have to get on and off. It's very tricky. The video you're looking at now is actually something our 5 on Your Side photographer Eric Voss shot earlier right before 6 a.m. You can see those snow plows going down I-55 heading westbound, working nonstop. We did catch up with the Illinois Department of Transportation, Joe Monroe, all morning long. He told us they're finally making progress, but overnight the added snow and wind made things more difficult.
The overnight snow was a little bit heavier than forecast, and the winds are certainly problematic. There's a period of time there where those windrows can get a little bit heavier and high accumulation totals that we're facing today. And certainly the winds, expect east-west routes to remain problematic until the winds die down.
Definitely thankful for both IDOT and MoDOT workers working nonstop for us. But again, want to reiterate, if you don't have to go outside today, please don't. Right now, again, we're heading on eastbound I-64 just past O'Fallon, and this is tricky out here. People going a little faster than I would like to see. If you have to get out on the roads, we understand. Just make sure you're taking it slow. Again, we're going about 30 miles per hour. Definitely some slick spots. And I want to take it back to me to talk a little bit more about those power outages we've been seeing. That's another big part of this winter storm. Missouri's looking a lot better than Illinois. So about 5 minutes ago when I checked, Ameren customers without power in Missouri, a little over 8,000. Right now in Illinois, that number is at 22,000. Michelle and Rennie, though, that's actually better than what we saw this morning. 2 hours ago, that number was at 26,000. But that's going to be an ongoing developing part of this winter storm as well. If people still remain without power in these frigid temperatures. You know, last night we were also out here. I was talking to Ameren and they said this condition makes it even harder for them. Imagine those linemen having to work in these freezing temperatures. So please remain patient with all these workers. They're trying their best and we do appreciate them. But again, please stay home if you can. I'll send it back to y'all in studio.
All right, thank you, Mercedes. Please stay safe out there as well. Now, while the snow was coming down overnight, as you could imagine, it caused some major issues on many of our interstates throughout the St. Louis area.
And remember, during our morning show, we were talking about the Missouri Highway Patrol saying that they had more than 450 calls for stranded drivers. That was a couple of hours ago. I'm sure that that number has increased as well. And our crew saw dozens of stranded cars with our own eyes. So here is the most recent crash of a semi-truck along I-44 at Lindbergh. You're going to see it here. You can see the semi stalled right there around 7 o'clock this morning.
Now, one of the worst problems that we saw along Interstate 64 was right there at Kings Highway, the on-ramp coming into the eastbound lanes. Several cars got stuck trying to get on the highway because of those high banks of snow left behind by the snow plows. Some folks just got stuck right there. Others were able to pretty much gun the car a little bit, push through that snow, but hopefully things have cleared out since that time.
Yeah, you can see that it's hard to get by. This is video from 5:30 this morning on I-64. This was approaching 270. So this is what we've been talking about. Those plows really kind of make these snow banks on the road, but we're seeing a lot of stranded drivers, people trying to get, it looks like they were trying to get on the on-ramp, right?
Now this is actually the area that we just saw Sydney drive through live on the air.
Yeah, right.
So you kind of see the difference in the two, but still very much snow covered at this time. Stalled drivers were caught on camera shoveling their way out of exit ramps all over town. This here was along the Hampton ramp to get onto 44 eastbound. They worked together. Hopefully they're able to get that car out. But we were told that if you do get stuck in your car in situations like that, it's best to stay in your car so that you don't get hit on the side of the highway.
Call 911 instead of shoveling. But there you see a lot of people doing that. Hope people are safe today. Right now, we know Metro services have resumed once again after being suspended overnight. All Metro buses and its caller ride service were delayed because of the snow and ice. Services were picked up just about 2 hours ago. They started again. So Metro says expect delays for MetroLink riders. Make sure you are planning accordingly.